Welcome to English 2. I'm Jennifer Moore, and this video is going to help you just figure out how to navigate the Study Island assignments, and it's not going to matter if you're in English 2A or 2B. These instructions are going to be the same. So what you're going to want to do first to find all the instructions is over here on the left-hand side. Under Introduction, you'll find a tab that says Study Island Instructions. That's where all of this information and PDFs and information is going to be. So that's where you're going to want to go first. If hopefully you're already watching this video, so that's going to be from right here. So step one is going to be to go to studyisland.com. and then to put in your student ID. So I'm going to show you that here in a second. If you don't know what your student ID is, then you're going to want to click right here to find out how to get that information, okay? So we're just going to take this step by step. The first thing, when you go to studyisland.com, it's going to look just like this. This is where you're going to log in down here. So the member login, your membership has already been paid for by the school, so you don't need to do anything else. You're just going to put in your student ID here. So it's going to be a number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is not a real number, but that's, a student ID. And then it's going to be @ISCO, and then your password is also going to be ISCO, ISCO. And then you're just going to hit submit, okay? Once you get in, this is going to be the first page that you see. You may have a different title, you may have a different picture, but for the most part, you're going to have these tabs up here and on the left-hand side. Now, what you're going to be looking for next is on the left-hand side, you're going to see something that says My Classes. So just try and remember, you're doing this for class, you need to find your classes, so you're going to click on My Classes. Once you click on My Classes, a new screen is going to pop up, and you're going to see this drop-down menu that says English 2B More, and then you're going to see your English 2B assignments. Now remember, if you're in 2A, this is just going to simply say English 2A More and English 2A assignments. That's the only thing that's different, but the steps are going to be the same. So from here, you can see if you're in English 2B, you have till Tuesday, June 4th, which is our last day of the session, and of the block, I guess, sorry. And then there's 15 topics that you can potentially do. You don't need to do all of them, but that's what's been assigned. So you just need to click anywhere here in the gray box. It doesn't matter where. You can click over here, it's going to activate everything, okay? Once I click, this next assignment's going to pop up. Now automatically this first one is checked. You can uncheck it. But if I hit Start Studying, I get this warning that says you must select at least one topic. So the topic that you're choosing is basically the test that you're choosing. So you can tell by here there's inferences, characters, setting, technical meanings. I can jump down here to context clues. Now really you can go in any order that you want. Sometimes there are going to be a specific test that I'll say, hey, go and do the setting, so then you would know to do that. But at this point, you can choose any that you want. Remember, for your first assignment, you only need to do one, and if you're in English 2B, you have 15 choices, so you can just choose one. What I would recommend before you get started is click on this lesson. If you click there, this little window is going to pop up, and it'll kind of give you some information on what an inference is. It'll give you some things to be looking for. It might give you some sample questions like this. And so basically it's giving, this one gives you 2 sample questions. And so it kind of gives you a quick little, think of it as like a quick little mini lesson or review before you actually start taking the test. And remember, it's not, you not only need to take the test, you need to take the test and pass. So it would be in your best interest to take a second and click on the lesson and study that. Once you know what you're ready to do, let's say you're going to do inferences, and you've hit lesson, and you're going to hit Start Studying, okay? You're going to hit Start Studying, and you're going to get a new screen. So in this new screen, you have practice mode, printable worksheet, and game mode. Now I think these are a little some of the titles I don't love, because practice mode, I think, oh sweet, I can go in and practice. It's really not practice mode. It's really like, that's your test. This is your test. So don't let the practice part fool you. If you do the printable worksheet, that's awesome, except you have to click on it let's see if it loads. And oh, I have to hit next, sorry. And this button comes out, and then I have to print it, or I can open it in Microsoft Word. So you can either do it by hand or do it in the computer, but the problem is that it's not scored. So this would be a great way if you need more practice per se, but it's not going to record your score. So I would not do printable worksheet. You can do game mode. For game mode, once you hit game mode, you have 3 different tabs down here. You can choose beginner, intermediate, or challenging, and under each of these there's several more games. So I could even go to beginner, and you can see down here there's banana toss or football game, and if you scroll over it, you can see right there it was giving me, whoops, let's see if we can get that description to come up long enough to read it. There we go. It'll give you kind of the description, so if you're like, well, I want to see what that looks like before I get in there, okay? It's going to be the same. It's a test. It's just through I guess like a game with animations, and it might make it a little more fun, but really game mode and practice mode are the same, okay? Once you choose which mode you like, the second thing you want to do is this number of questions will automatically be set to 10. You never want to change this. You certainly don't want to do more than 10 questions, which obviously you can. And I think the biggest mistake kids do is they're like, well, sweet, I don't want to do 10 questions, I'm going to do 2 questions. But it's based off of, a passing score is based off of 70% out of 10 questions. So if you do, let's say you do 2 and you get 100%, that's awesome, but you're not going to pass because it's not out of 10 questions. So you just always want to leave this at 10 questions, okay? Then once you've chosen either practice mode or game mode, you're going to hit next, and your test is going to start. So you can see here's the very first question. Obviously you want to make sure that you scroll all the way down to read the entire passage, and then you have your choices, A, B, or C. You would just simply click on it and it's going to tell you if you're correct or incorrect. So see, fearful was not the correct answer. You can see your score up here at the top. You can see the questions. I'm on question 1 of 10, and so far my score is 0. And remember, you have to get 70% to consider to be a passing score, I guess. So when you just keep going through, it actually makes you keep clicking until you get the correct answer. Okay, so oh, now I know it's stubborn. Okay, so now I can go to next question, or I can click on explanation. So I would recommend, if you've missed it, to go ahead and see what the explanation is, because maybe that will help you on the next test where you're like, oh, I can see where this is why this is the answer. So then hopefully that can help you in the next test or the next question. So then you would just hit next question. Now obviously when you're done, you'd go to end study session, but you don't want to hit this unless you're done, because you can see that it tells you have questions left, and it's going to record this. See right here, it shows me I spent 14 seconds on this. I did 1 question, I got 0 correct, which is unsatisfactory. So this actually goes into my record. So you really don't want to go in just to try out some tests and hit end session. You really want to go in with the intention of finishing. So then I can go to try again, or I can go return to main menu. So again, let me go back to class. There's one important thing I wanted to show you. So passing. Here's what you need. You need a total of 5 assignments, and here's the 10 question part. You get 70% or above, and you're going to earn a red palm tree. So what that means is basically when you're done taking the test, a little red palm tree will show up, and it'll say like 70 or 80 or 90% or whatever, and that's when you know you're done. That's when you know you've passed. Now if you take it, let's say you take it and you get 60%, you're like, bummer, no palm tree. So you're going to want to take that test again, and hopefully you're going to average 70%. But if you don't, you're going to want to take it again. Now this is going to be very important. If you have answered a total of 30 questions, which means you've taken let's use our test example of inferences right now. You've taken inferences 3 times and you don't have your palm tree yet. You need to stop and send me an email and say, hey, Ms. Moore, I've taken 3 tests of inferences and I haven't passed, because I need to reset that test, because it's based off of a mathematical average. So the more questions you do, the harder it gets to pass. And I have seen kids complete 200, 300 questions just trying to pass to get to that 70%. Don't do that. It's a waste of your time, okay? So once you've done 30 questions, if you have failed, I will reset the test and you can start from scratch, okay? Now, this third part is the most important part, step 3 here. I'm going to try and move this over a little bit. In order to receive the points for each completed test, you need to email me. You need to email me the name of the test you took, the score, and the date you took it, okay? And then each red palm tree is worth 20 points, or a total of 100 points. And this says for 6 tests, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. I will double check in the grade book if it's 100, if it's 6 tests or 5 tests, and I will make sure that that matches. But basically each palm tree is worth 20 points, and you're going to want to get that in there. Now, the only way I'm going to know that you have passed the test is if you email me, and then I will go into Study Island and check it out. So you're going to want to make sure to do that. If you've already taken a test, awesome, but it has to be starting from today, April 1st, because today's the first day of block 4. So your test date cannot be prior to April 1st, okay? If you have any questions, let me know, and otherwise, I look forward to seeing your scores.